Hi, it's Tanya Penner, and I'd like to welcome you to my presentation of Barriers to the Web 2.0 as part of the AEP 800 VB Module 5. Initially, we were asked to provide a summary of what we read in Barriers to using Web 2.0 in 21st century schools. And there was an amazing amount of information. Examples of what schools are using, ways to go about getting technology into the schools. But the thing that I felt was most, spoke to me most, was what I hear and see all the time at school, is that teachers, the excuses that they have, and what I liked it was it also gave things that you could say and ways to combat this these issues. First of all, there's not enough time. We hear it from the teachers, and there's a lot that the teachers have to do, so their time really is limited. The second thing had to do with the skills. A lot of teachers say they don't have the skills, don't feel they have the skills that they need to put technology into their classrooms. And in part, that's true. There are so many things that have come out, so many tools out there to use, and a lot of times we get an introduction to using them, and then we go back to our classrooms, and there's no support. There's no ongoing training and support, which I feel is very much in need. There are times that there's no tech support. So if you've got an issue with your technology, there's nobody in the building to help you with it. And teachers don't feel that they are qualified or have the skills that they need to fix their own equipment. Then you have the administrator. And I have seen this look before from administrators when you want to try and implement technology or make the suggestion that students bring their own devices to the school. This is a look you get from some administrators. But then the biggest barrier, I believe, is financially. We don't have enough money in the schools to, a lot of times, to provide the devices. And then it costs a lot of money not only to train, but to provide that ongoing support and training that's needed in order for schools to stay current. Do I feel the digital divide can be resolved? No, not at all. Schools cannot, even from 100 years ago when I was a kid, there are schools and states and districts that have the newest textbooks, enough paper, enough pencils, all the resources in the world. And there are schools that don't. And if we can't bridge that gap with those kind of resources, how in the world can we bridge that gap with technology that is so much more expensive? I would love to be able to see that happen, that it would be resolved. I just don't think that it is a possibility. What skill sets do you feel 21st century students need to acquire before graduation? When you look at the 21st century skills, in my opinion, critical thinking and problem solving, communication and collaboration, productivity and accountability. Those are key, in my opinion. If you can think critically and solve problems, you can figure most of these out. If you can communicate and collaborate, that is another huge skill that is going to be needed. And then productivity and accountability. The accountability part especially seems to be very lacking. I don't know if it's because things are so instantaneous that students have difficulty now working for things and being held accountable for what they do and don't do. I'm not really sure, but I think those are the three main, while they are all important, no doubt, those are the three main, in my opinion. What impact has the global economy had on my personal use of the internet? I put a question mark because while I use the internet extensively, being 8,000 miles away from my family and friends back in the States, I use the internet on a daily basis to keep in touch with my kids, my parents, and our friends back in the States. Being able to take online classes, order my books online, we're able to do banking with our bank in the States. But as far as whether or not that falls under the umbrella of the global economy, I'm not sure that that classifies. I could be wrong, but it definitely has increased. And let me tell you, being 8,000 miles away without the internet and the ability to stay in touch with my kids, I would probably go crazy. What technology training do I still need to effectively integrate technology in my current position? I do a lot of technology in my position as head of faculty, so I'm good for now, I think. And then as I thought about that statement, I remembered seeing this graphic, and I think it is a perfect graphic for this question, especially when it comes to technology. The small what you know, and you know that there are things you don't know, but the biggest portion is what you don't know you don't know. I had no idea before this class Google Docs, Google Spreadsheets, Google Slides were so amazing. I didn't know anything about Screencast-O-Matic. I didn't know anything about infographics. You don't know what you don't know. So I was able to go to a BETT technical conference last week for work, and the amount of technology available to schools was mind-boggling. So yeah, especially where technology is concerned and things changing so fast, you don't know what you don't know. So while I think I'm good for now, I'm probably not. Is your school or district equipped with 21st century technology? Our school is very fortunate. We have whiteboards or smart boards and data shows in every classroom. We have a computer lab. We have, we're able to have a little miniature computer center for KG. We have computer center in the English classroom also. Built into our schedule are times that different classes go use the computer lab in addition to their ICT classes. So we're very fortunate. However, in our district, some schools have iPads for every student in the class or in the school. Some have huge computer labs with the latest technology and desks where the computer screen rises up out of them and then goes back down at the end of the class. But then there are also schools that are lucky to have these dinosaurs. Some schools don't have enough computers for the teachers even. And I think that's true in a lot of districts, not just ours. The advantages of 2.0 in schools is unending. The opportunity that it provides the students to see and do things that they never would have an opportunity to do otherwise. The experience, like virtual field trips, to be able to experience things in places that they would not be able to to experience otherwise. Collaboration, the ability to collaborate with students in other countries, in other schools, even in other areas of their own country, especially when you have small class sizes, you get tired of those people. And so to be able to talk to some other kids would be amazing. And understanding of the way school works in other places, understanding of new concepts and ideas that collaborating with other children can bring. Cultural awareness. Once we are all culturally aware, it makes us a little more tolerant and accepting and makes the world a better place. And then job skills. From an early age, they're developing skills that they'll be able to use in the workforce. And that's a huge bonus. The disadvantages, they can impede social and communication skills. It's not accessible by all. There is a certain amount of liability, not only in what the kids get into while they're on the internet, but if they bring their own devices, you can't prevent them from or monitor what they bring already downloaded on that device. Plus there's a liability with the device itself if it gets lost or stolen or broken. Protecting the students. There are so many crazy bad people out there, and it's difficult to protect the students all the time. It's cost prohibitive, not only initially, but there's an ongoing cost, as I spoke about before, that's staggering. Have you experienced problems with cyberbullying or other inappropriate internet use with students? No cyberbullying, no intentional inappropriate internet use with students. Where the problems have come in are with students Googling really innocent things that come up with some really bad pictures. I was helping a high school girl one time. She was doing a presentation in her class about what attraction or attractive people look like, and how it's not just it shouldn't be just the good-looking people. You should look at people within. But as part of that, she wanted a picture of a very good-looking man. So she Googled handsome man, and it was very bad. And so then I had to go report that we had done that. So even innocent things can turn out to be not that great. Anyway, that's my presentation. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'd love to get your feedback and see what you think. Thanks.